Another thing with back boiler was these pipes are out far too far if I was to put a fire in there. I don't know if I ever will put a fire in there or what. Two minds about knocking down the chimney breast and then putting a fire in it. I'd like to get one of the modern electric fires, the rectangle ones, and make it build it in like a cabinet thing. In which case I'll not be going in there. So no point in cutting that off. To cut that off, I don't have the wee pipe cutter, the wee round one that gets in there easily. So I'm not going to get it tight down. I want to buy a pipe cutter if I'm going to do it. So right now I just want heat on. That could be done in the summertime. These old rings has already been on before. I'm going to clean these up now with a wire wall, get them pipes connected on. And these new fittings here now, I won't bother using the ring they came with. I bought extra wee rings in case I need them, in case I make a mess. It's not for the cost of them, it's so I'm going to put that on there now. And you know what? That ring is not meeting up. So I'm going to have to cut that off. Normally these compression fittings all fit, you know. That ring's way far for that. I'm going to have to cut them pipes. That's far out there. So I'm going to have to cut them off there with that pipe cutter. I'm hoping to take this pipe away. I don't want that sitting there. Don't tell me that's a different size pipe. Fuck's sake. Different size pipe. I still haven't got a cap. How many different sizes do you need? I got 3 of them there. Don't think I do. We'll go up the attic now and see that size of pipe. I know where that's the overflow at. I'm still not going to get the heating on. How many different sizes of caps do you need? In fact, I might have that cap out in the shed. I think I might have an end cap for that in the shed. I'll go out the shed and check. But the fact that's a smaller pipe means I go up the attic, and if it's a smaller pipe in the attic, I know that's it. And I can cut it off in the attic, get that out of the way. If it's a larger one, I know it's one of them. See, that's why you always need stuff flying about. So they're going to have to cut them. Normally, compression fit would just fit on again. Not this one. I'll check the shed if I got one for there. I've just spent an hour and a half looking for my pipe cutter. That's as close as I can get there, you see. So there's no way I can get that pipe the whole way back. I need to get one of them other wee special ones. But they don't do these large pipes. Them type there, they don't do it. You have to buy one special just for these large pipes. And the thing is, you twist that and turn. I'm going to have a bit of a problem with the bottom one. Whenever you bend the pipe that starts, that pipe's been bent. I can't cut back under the started bit. The furthest I can cut is really there. So I'm not going to get it back all that far. That's why if it was disconnected in with the hot press, so no water gets in these pipes at all the better. So you just turn it each time. Gradually break off. I think it's not to rush it, like. Pull that wee end out there. That takes off any sharp bits. Most important bit of doing a bit of piping, and that's cleaning it. It has to be clean. And the wire wall. That insulation is going to get me away. You get the idea. Normally I would go up and down the way. But it has to be spotless when you put your ring on. So I'll do that with 2 hands. This one here, see, that's going to be awkward there because it's only so tight that I can, even that death spanner is not going to get down. That's going to be tight getting that done there. Very close to the joint. So actually, I'm going to do the tools like. I could get a hacksaw and cut that off there, you know. Because the actual seal is this down bit. So let's see how far the wee wheel goes. DIY is all about solving problems. Always problems in DIY. That's all you ever do is solve problems. So that's going to get the wheel as far as there. And the wheel is, don't want to cut it yet, the wheel's going to go. That ain't going to cut that. I can't do a 360 in that. So that one there, because she's not going to join on right, gosh, not even slightly marked. Probably I pulled the bar right. She's not going to go on tight, so I'm going to cut that off with a hacksaw slightly, just a wee bit. that ring has to sit tight against this edge here. So that's a hacksaw. I never cut copper with a hacksaw. I've always managed to do it with a pipe bender cutter. Look at the sludge in that there. See that there's cement that's gone in there. So that's another thing I need to look out for. Cement has gone into that pipe when I took the bar out. Won't be flowing anyway. And up in the attic, it's not good news. Cold water goes in, hot water rises. So I thought the cold went in there. Them's big pipes. Cold goes in, hot rises, and maybe that one would be the overflow. That one there's the hot water returning. That's a smaller diameter pipe. So one of them is the overflow. So the overflow must be the top one. I can disconnect that in the attic. Because if the oil overflows, water will back down that pipe. And then it could freeze in the winter time in the attic because the water's not moving anywhere. So if I disconnect it in the attic, there's no chance the pipe's freezing up there. It's not going to do anything. That must be the water coming in. That's the water going out. The thing of the water going out here. We're back in the hot press now. So there's the hot water from the coal fire. It's a smaller diameter pipe. So in theory I could disconnect all this pump here. Disconnect all this and put the cap on there. So I'll leave that pipe sitting there like, but I'll disconnect it. That's the one going to it. I can't disconnect it here because I haven't got a pipe cutter. If I got a pipe cutter, I could cap that off there. And that gets the pipes. I'll still leave the pipes on the floor like. So if anybody ever wanted to reinstate it, they could do. It's best not have water in them. Feed pipe to coal fire, that's what I've worked out. Hot water from coal fire. I never noticed the different size pipes, you know. So I'm tempted now to take that pump away altogether there. I'll just put the wee cap on here. Put the cap on there. I'll leave that non-return valve on. Put the cap on here. That's what I'll do. So I'm slacking these off here with that big spanner there. This big plumber spanner is a handy job, but you need space for it. Them is both turned off. I'm going to turn them on now, see if any water comes out of there. The water's all more or less drained anyway. A bit of water on this side. That's probably from the pump itself. So I can screw off this here now and see if I can cap it there. It would help if I turn it the right way. I'm going to hold up with another hand there. So most of my tools are falling apart. I haven't bought decent tools in years. See, I think about a DIY. An electrician can have all his fancy tools for electrical work. A DIY has to cover everything. I need two hands to do this. I'm going to hold this with this pair of pliers and open it up with that. A bit of a risk here. I'm going to screw off this one here. The only thing I'm screwing off this one, if there's water in there. Now, there's no water getting into the system, but there could be still water in the pipe. I could pour it here. So I'll put my other valve on there, my wee cap on there, and that's that pipe disconnected. So the part I couldn't disconnect. That's screwed on there, you know. I wonder if my cap will go on there. If my cap will go on there, you know, that'd be handy. I can try. Have to adjust this now, the right size again. Never the right size. This one here is very tight. But the other thing is now I can disconnect this, but I've no way of see, compression fittings, you can move compression fittings all the time. Because it's soldered, I can't twist this pipe out of the way to get the cap on. I'll see if there's enough of bend to push this back to get a wee cap on. If not, I'm going to have to cut this off with a hacksaw. It's not going to be too neat. And get the cap on there. But that'll be a good joint there, putting the cap on there. I'm just thinking, I'm still going to have to put a bit of pipe for the cap to grip onto. I'm going to put a short piece on. Let's cut that off with a hacksaw there. Get the wire wall now, I'm going to clean up this wee circle here, this wee ring. Get it all nice and clean. I watched two boys on YouTube who do plumbing, and both of them are good plumbers. And one of them puts on plumber's tape, and the other one never puts plumber's tape on. One calls belts and braces, and the other one says, "You'll be right, you shouldn't need plumber's tape for this." But if it leaks, you sort of think you did put on plumber's tape. And if you do put on plumber's tape, you put it on this edge here. You don't put over the whole lot. It's that edge. It's that edge that does the sealing. But I'm not tempted to put a wee bit of plumber's tape on there now, because when I put the fitting on, you think it's not tight against the O-ring, you see. Whenever you do it the first time, the O-ring can compress, but I don't know how far that's off the end of this fitting. But it feels like whenever you hit the O-ring, you think the pipe is hitting there, and it's probably not. It's probably is the O-ring. As long as it hits the O-ring, it'll compress in. I don't know. And there's the original fitting now, you see. See, I think that's going over the O-ring more. That's going over the O-ring more. So that's why I'm sort of thinking that O-ring's not going to be tight enough to that. If I tighten that up, that O-ring's not actually tightening. I might take a wee bit of that off the hacksaw too. Maybe the fittings have changed over the years, because I don't think it's tight enough. I don't think it's touching. Because if you fill the system up with water, it's a hassle draining it. And then I thought what I should have done was to buy a drain valve and put a drain valve in here, and that would have been saved me time next time. I cut a wee bit off the hacksaw. I cut a wee bit off. I think it is a snugger fit. It is a snugger fit now, like, so it's a lot tighter there now. So I hope that's gripping on tight. So when I tighten that up then I should do it. So I've never really put plumber's tape and things like that. I might just put on a couple of, I don't know, put a couple of wee runs on just in case. Give it all a wee clean up now with a wire wall. Make sure it's nice and clean. That's that one on now. So now, it's pity that was soldered on there, like. I don't like cutting the pipe, you know, and I'm going to have to. If I cut that pipe off there now, cut it off roughly. A proper plumber later on can join on it. Here with a proper pipe cutter. I'll cut it with a saw. I'm going to check the shed. We have a spare bit of copper pipe, because I need to put a wee couple of inches on there so I can put the cap on it. So I need to check a wee bit of pipe first. Right, I'm up in the attic again. This pipe here now is the overflow pipe. This one here going straight down is going to the hot press. So if the hot press boils over, if I put the immersion heater on and the thermostat doesn't work and the water boils over, it comes up this pipe, goes into I don't know what the proper name for that tank is. That's your wee one there that feeds the system, and it can overflow outside then for scalding people. Goes into that, and the other one then, the coal fire, ties into it. So if the coal fire boils over, it can come up this way and up that pipe as well. But the problem being, if I disconnect that now in the boiler, the coal fire boiler, and the immersion heater boils over, water will run down that pipe. And then what could happen then is, because the water's in that pipe, it's not doing nothing. It could freeze on a cold winter, And if that was to freeze, and then the hot water sometimes boil over, it would flood the house like. So it's much handier for me now to just cut this pipe here. Cut it with a pipe cutter and put the end cap on it. But I'm a wee bit of shorter pipe for the hot press, so I'll cut a wee bit off this pipe then, using the hot press. So I'll use my pipe cutter here now and cut that pipe there, and then I'll put on the wee end cap. And this will solve that problem. I'm going to leave this long piece on here because my pipe cutter is not going to cut any closer. It's going to hit the wood. So I'm going to keep it out here. That's as close as I'm going to get it. Just take your time to begin with. Nice and slowly does it. See that? I'm just touching the wood there, no more now. So I can't make it any shorter. So if you had the proper wee pipe cutter, it'd be dead handy. See, actually, I should have left it a wee bit longer, maybe, you know, because that's putting it off a wee bit. It seems the more I get down the pipe, that I'm on hitting that wood. You think it'd be the opposite, as it's getting shorter. Yeah, we're almost through now. There now, that's the job there now. So, because I'm short of pipe in the hot press now, I'm going to have to cut a bit of this off here. I have no pipe in the hot press. See how hot that gets? It's melting insulation. That's my boiler in the fireplace is always boiling over. Just thinking, I've cut a bit off there now for my hot press. That's long enough. Cut a bit off there for the hot press, so all I'll do, I'll cut it here and cut that about 1 inch, 2 inches long. You have to watch that you don't have the bends because it narrows down. It's not going to seal. Before I do that, I'll make sure the end cap fits. Where's my end cap? I need to get a camera assistant, you know. I need 2 hands. Don't tell me that's the wrong size as well. How many different sizes is there? That's a small fitting too, like. So that, I don't know. Need a small fitting for there now. I'm about to give up. Okay, I'm okay. It's the right size of fitting. I was wondering if that's a small fitting, that means I'm all wrong on my calculations of pipes. That is the right size there. See, I'm nervous. See the summertime, the sun's shining, you're plenty. The only thing summertime be baked and hot up here. That's when you're forced against your will to do things. I always like to keep spare things in the shed. Don't keep spares of that size of pipe in there. You never need that. Every household will have a couple of wee end caps. If something goes wrong and you can plug up a gap and connect your water again. So I'm going to cut this here now, out here. Now this bit here is a bit easier now. Maybe I'm skipping too close to the board again. But see the price of plumbers and all now, even if it costs £20 for a proper pipe cutter that I haven't got, I would pay you to buy the pipe cutter. But it's just, I'm not using the system again. If I was, I'd have bought the pipe cutter at £20. So when am I ever going to use that size of pipe cutter again? They're always moving sinks and things, so you don't mind the smaller boys. Almost through. That's it. So now that's out of the way now, I get my other wee tool. It doesn't matter if I do it here because there's no water flowing, but you just get into the habit of doing it. Because if you start skimming and I'd say that pipe will be empty most of the time. That'll do it. That'll do it. My wire wall. See, that's how I normally clean up a wire wall here. I have to do it that way there. There's not much crap around me here. I see all the YouTubers have fancy lights and things. They probably get sponsored with blow pad and stuff. Not putting no plumber's tape on here. Everything's all nice and new and clean. New ring and all, so I wouldn't bother about plumber's tape here. So, put on a wee ring. Put on the O-ring. I'm coughing now, it must be. It's not a favourite glass, I wasn't disturbing that. It must be just crap of this pipe. So I need 2 hands to tighten this now. Tighten that, that'll be an odd job done there. I'll take this down to the hot press and I'll cut a couple of inches off that. Job done now. That's how capped off there now. Should put a bit of lighting back in that again on this side. So I'll tie that up later there. Put that wee bit of lighting up. Get sticky tape up here and tape that on right. Check any water needs drained out of here. Because that valve is closed off, the water can't get out. There's no point having water trapped in pipes that's not used. So there's nothing you can do. If you don't have an end cap, if you've got any stop valves, you can stick it on. So when I turn the water on the central heating system, I'll open that up, make sure there's no water in that pipe. That pipe should be disconnected. So I'm going to cut this now with a saw here. I'm just going to hack that off there with a saw. I'll put a wee straight bit of pipe on there and another end cap, and that'll be that done. So I'll cut the pipe off there now. And I'll put in the straight here now, and I'll screw that on there, so I've got extra O-rings, and I'll put a cap it then. There's still water in that pipe because it's below floor level. I'll suck that out with a wet and dry hoover, get all the water out of that there. So we'll connect this up now. I cut it there. I just realised you have to clean the ends. It's handy to clean 3 or 4 inches in one go now before I cut it, instead of cutting it and then trying to do the ends. So I'm going to clean it with a wire wall first, get it looking like new again. There's my wee short bit of pipe, put the O-ring on, put the end cap on, put my ring on, or the circle, the compression fitting, tighten that up. Then when that's tightened up, because that ring's stuck on there now, like, I could cut it there and save it, but you don't have to. The ring of another fitting will fit anyway. So I'll take this ring off here. They're all universal fitting. That ring I'll screw onto there, even though that's a different fitting. That'll screw on there. So then when that's tightened up, I'll put that ring on there, put that on a wee clip on, and that goes on there, and that tightens onto that. I always hold the phone too low. So you get the idea now, like. So when they're all tightened up there now, that'll be a good job. But before I tighten that up, I'll do this one first. I could do that with the pliers, more room. So I'll do this one first here. There's a wee bit of dirt in there. I don't know, wee bits of dirt. So I'll tighten that up now with the 2 spanners, and then I'll slot it into place. Give it an all wee wipe with a towel, get the dirt off. So that one tightened there now. Slot that in there, the wee rings in there, ready? Get me big grips. The thing about these big grips, you have to be careful you don't over tighten. Because it's very easy to over tighten. Make sure it's in full way. It's very easy to over tighten with a big heavy tool like this. And you can always tighten more if it leaks. So I'd rather just slightly under tighten, but it's hard to get. If you're using a round pair of pliers, you'll be doing that pretty hard. But this here, I reckon that'll do it there. It's a bit of guesswork. If a proper plumber would know how much to put in. So that's ready now to turn the water on. When I turn the water on now, I don't want to see water coming out of there. I don't want to see water coming out of there. I'll open that up, and that should be going now to the living room. And that means then I can cut them pipes off altogether in the living room. And if I want to put an insert for a wee stove or something, a wee electric stove, I could do. One thing I want to do now is the tank in the attic is disgusting. I'm going to clean the tank out in the attic before I fill up the water. And the thing is now, you got to remember what radiator valves is left open and stuff. It's very easy to forget. But getting the air out of the system now can be another hassle. Because it's better now getting the air out of the system. We'll let the water in and see what happens. As long as I haven't got no leaks, that's number one solved. Number two then is get the oil running. I'll say the last time the plumber put the boiler in for me, he spent an hour and a half trying to get the air out of the system. So even professionals can have bother getting out of the system. You don't know what pipes go up and down under the floors and all that. The fact that that's disconnected will make it a bit easier getting the air out of the system, I reckon. We'll soon find out. Now you see inside the wee tank now, it's pretty disgusting, isn't it? And I'm going to get the catcher wet and dry vacuum cleaner. And I'm going to suck that crap out before I fill it up. You see the central heating, there's the water goes into the central heating there. Completely gunged up there, like. So the vacuum cleaner will suck that out. I don't know how much I picked up on the phone, but you can see the amount of gunge. And what I like about the catcher, it does wet and dry at the same time. A lot of hoovers will do wet, but you can't suck up gunge like that. And a lot of ones do dry, but you can't suck up wet. And there's a lot of jobs you need the both, and that's why I like the catcher. That's pretty clean now. I'm going to skim over that again now with one hand if I tape it and get the last of that off. But it makes a big difference, like. There's no point in putting in all these cleaning fluids and all the rest and letting all that gunge go back down again. Get nice clean water now. I'm not going to put that inhibitor in this until the summertime. I have an inhibitor there because I say I have an oil radiator to stick on in the living room. I just need heat on now. Once the weather warms up, I'll drain the system again. So I'll get this one last hoover out. People criticise the state of my car and all, but see, I clean things that I think are important. So something like this here is important. I'll clean it like that. Well, like a car, it's going to get mucked up again. It wouldn't bother me out. I'm going to let water in here now. I have to be cautious because the thing is, leaks mightn't show up until the whole system's full. But I'll pull out this wee bit of wood now, and let's see what happens. I should have used a reusable tie for that, you know, and then but I'll leave that wee cable tie on there. The water will gush in now. That's a wee valve I fixed last Boxing Day. See the noise of running water can be terrifying, you know. There's nothing as terrifying as running water and seeing it run over your house. So it's about to go into the central heating system now. It's starting to go into the central heating system now. So I'm going to go around now and check these pipes. Water's running in. I'm opening this up here. There's no water coming out of there because that should be dead. But just in case I made a mistake, there's no water coming out of here. It'll take a while for the water to fill up the system. Whenever it stops pouring in the attic, I'll know. And then I'll bleed the radiators. And as I bleed the radiators, the water then will fill up more. The wee one, the tap I put on, it's very unlikely. Even if that wasn't on tight, it has to boil away before that is the tap to leaking. Best thing, what happens sometimes as well, when you put on pipe fittings, there's times you might get humidity on it. Because the cold water's hitting the warm surface. Once the cold water starts going in, a wee bit of toilet tissue or a hanky, paper hanky, it's better than a cloth of getting any moisture up to make sure there's no leaks. Because you always think there might be a wee leak when there's not. So I'm going to start, I'll start off the, it's hard to know which radiator. The living room radiator is the easiest one to bleed. So I'll bleed the living room radiator. The water has stopped flowing in now, the tank up above. With no leaks here. Can I do my torch to make sure? So I'm going to start letting the air out now. It's interesting to see what colour the water is when it comes out. You know what? I didn't check the pipes in the bedroom. The two are capped off there. I'll just check them because they will have water in them already. Fed up with cement on the floor. I got all this cement right up. That's the two are capped off there. I'm in two minds. I would like to get a radiator. I've seen a radiator that sits out from the wall. I want curtains, so I want to put curtains here. And it'd be handy if I had a wee radiator. I seen a radiator comes out from the wall, out the way, it's vertical. And if I could have a wee radiator sitting vertical, I could plumb it up but have the curtain. I don't want to put curtains in front of radiators. But you always get a bit of cold air from the... I'll see what happens. I'm looking out for radiators anyway, so I can always join on to that. So there's no water there, but let this air out now. When I come back today, I'll wash the backyard. Everything's covered in cement everywhere. So hopefully it'll be nice clean water this time. And even though I get all the air of the radiators, there can still be air in the oil burner itself. I mind before having to turn the pump back and forward. Well, we'll see how it goes. When I lived in the old house, I used to do lots of DIY. I used to do big projects when I was younger. But it was always handy because my sister always did the cleaning up. See, in my own house, I'm not used to cleaning up by cement dust. I could do my sister coming up, but she hasn't volunteered. I went over my sofa and all the last day and took up the dust off, but them workmen, I went and put more dirt on it. All the cement dust come back into the bedroom. You hear the water rattling the other radiators. Just a matter of going around all the radiators now. This is the second last radiator hall. The last radiator is the bathroom. Bathroom's a hassle. Far more air in them than I ever thought. So I'm having to open them full away. The living room one took about over 5 minutes to get the air out. Must be a long pipe going to it. The bathroom one's a bit of a hassle. I had to screw a cabinet off the wall. I bolted in the wee cabinet and one of the holes was seized in it. Needs a new radiator. So I might skip that one out. And when I get this one done here, I'll go to the oil burner and see if we get the air of the oil burner. See if we get started up. The good news is all the water's clear. You get a wee tiny bit of black speckle at the very start and then water's clear. So most house sludge must be out of that system now. That's thanks to the catcher. A lot of the oil burner now. The only place you really get air out of the oil burner is the pump. So the water's there anyway. I hear the water running it now. If you start the oil burner up in the air in it, it won't just cut out. The pump needs water in it. The pump can't pump air. It's just filling up anyway. If you're a two-story house, this will probably be quicker. The header tank's higher up. That's a condensing boiler. When I put this oil in here, it was £1,000 grant, but I was getting quotes of £3,000 from plumbers to put this oil in. And the boy done it for me. His father's a plumber, and he's a kind of boy who likes to travel the world. So he went down Long Main and the car went down to Springtown there, went to the plumber place, bought those things. That must be it now. Bought this here. It's 1,200 I think altogether. You could buy the boiler with a pump. Now the pump is bought separate and that's to save money. So that's not an A-rated pump. About 1,200 I think it cost me. And he took the cash and put it through his father's account, and then got the tax back. So it didn't actually cost me anything to get installed. He installed it for me as long as I put it through his father's account. That's how it worked. So there's no more air coming out of that now. We start her up now and see what happens. Just turned the oil on. Hassle getting the oil. I changed the virgin fibre and had to put the new cord in my smart plug. Let's see if it starts pumping around. If it doesn't pump around, get in the system, you have to unscrew this, turn the pump back and forward. That helps push the air out. Right now that's freezing there, like. So there's no hot water getting up to the pump yet. You see that water's going to cut out if it doesn't pump the water around. The water's going to overheat in the boiler, so it's going to cut out automatically. That's the hassle we have now. Just try and get the water started. I don't know. How do you get the air out of this now? Maybe I might try and put the vacuum cleaner and suck water out of there, you know. I haven't done that before. I might get the catcher, stop it and suck some water out of there. I don't know if this is going to work or not. I've never done this before. We'll take a screw out here and we're going to suck water out. Where I can suck the water up there or not, I don't know. The only thing we can do is take the pump off and suck the water out of the pipe there. Oh, must be full. Here we go. I don't know if there's any water going down that pipe or not. I don't think there is. I need to turn it off going to the house. It might pull the water the wrong way. It might pull the water the wrong way. Never thought of that. So I need to turn off the one that goes into the house. What one goes into the house? That one. And then have that one open so it sucks in. I'll start up again and see what happens. Look, there's water coming out. Look. The water's coming out by itself. Look at that. That might be it. That might be it. There's water in that pump now. The water's gravity feeding. DIY is about problem solving. That's all you do all the time. Solve one problem after another. I've turned the oil on again now. Normally she do that wee noise there and then she boots up, doesn't she? Isn't that what she normally does? There now she's booting up. So we weren't getting that. I don't know to see where we're getting that the last time. I'll see now if any hot water comes up here. Is there a third stage, I wonder? See, normally you just turn the oil on, you don't check how quick the oil comes through, do you? The heat and hot water. But if it doesn't work, I'll take this off, I'll suck the water out of there, we'll close this valve off. Because I could suck the water back the wrong way. The water could be coming from the attic upstairs into this pump, but still not in the oil burner. We need to get the water into the oil burner in there. I think I'm going to screw this pump off. I'm going to try and turn that off now and suck and see what happens. There should be a wee handle in here. So she can't pump that way now, like. Let me see what happens here now. Yeah, that's not working. I'm getting smoke from the chimney anyway. What happens is the boiler will cut out. The water gets so hot in the boiler, if it doesn't get pumping around, it just cuts out the boiler. Stuff in return connection. What's return connection? So does that mean it's going out there? So if it goes out there, then even if I stuck it here, I don't know. I'm going to try and stuck it with this open again to see what happens. If that's the return connection. No water in that. Thought it was making a funny noise. I may just take this pump off and on and turn it back and forward like the plumber done the last time. It's just going to take a while doing that. I might have made a bit of a mistake. I'm waiting for these pipes to scald the hand of me. I unscrewed that a bit. It leaked a wee bit. So I thought, well, the water's definitely getting this, not getting this. I took this side, water shooting everywhere. Plus it's soaked. I thought, well, why is it not burning my hand? And then I went down and touched the radiator. It's heating up now. Touched the radiators are heating up inside. But I expected that to be scalding now. But there is heat going through the radiators. So maybe I'm just not giving them time to heat up and I'm impatient. Right, the radiators are heating up. They're not scalding, they're warm. So we'll let that run. And while it's running, I'll go back up the attic now. I'll put the... I think everything's going. It's just, I wasn't expecting it to go. I've all the radiators up and full. So I'll get this catcher now and we'll suck the water out of that last pipe. I'll just do that now. The wee catcher has been an invaluable tool. I think they're about £60. And you know what? I prefer the wee one. I think they're about £60. I paid 52 that day. 52 or something like that. So I'll suck this water out of here. Everything's dry in here now anyway. So it's just that one pipe. The water's still in that pipe. So when I suck this now, I'll suck the water out on the floor to the living room. Some water not there, I tell you. Big pipe, you see. So I empty this out in the street and then we'll do it again. You know what, I'll find out what pipe goes where now. There's the hoovers all now. That one will be the attic there. So I'll just suck that from here, I think. I'll suck these ones as well. So that valve's open there now. That's that one. And that's the overflow one. Focus. So I know now I can definitely take them pipes away. That's them draining the water now. That pipe's hot there now. So that's the oil heating now. Water coming in from the boiler, the oil heating. So before that water was escaping, there's a non-return valve there. What did I do with it? There's a non-return valve, and that's supposed to stop the water getting to the back boiler. That's a non-return valve there. Wasn't working. The back boiler was still getting hot. So when I'm burning my oil now, I'm not losing heat up my chimney by taking that off. So that's supposed to be a non-return valve there. I'm saying that, it's probably 30 years old. Water should only go one way. Can't go the other way. That's law now. You must fit them to your kitchen. So I'll be fitting them to my new kitchen. The old kitchen doesn't have it. So that's it there now. I'll just close that off for the sake of it. Don't want insects and all going down in it. That's about it. Pump. I'll leave the pump. I'll disconnect the wires to the pump. I'll put a 13 amp socket on there. No point in wasting a good electrical outlet, so I'll put a 13 amp socket on there. I'll just let the pump sit in there. The back out of the way. Them's all nice and dry. Everything's working. Check the heat of these radiators now. That's how we're in the kitchen. I never used that. That's a shit the radiator. Oh, scalding. Scalding. Heating's working. All I do now is bleed the bathroom one. Burner's on full blast now, so it's a full blast mode. Scalding now, scalding. That should be the hot one there, if I remember right. My house is freezing, there's no heat in the house all week. So it's going to take a while for the house to heat up. I'll screw this back together now. I'll wash this yard down and get that black stuff off because there's poisons weed in it. I think that's a successful job. Now I clean up the house, get rid of the cement dust. Oh, it's going to take ages. There's my tank now. Nice clean water. But say there's no inhibitor in there yet. I'm going to put an inhibitor in. But I want to see about radiator first because I want to drain it again. And if the next time I drain it, I won't have to drain the whole thing. I'll just drain the part of it. Let whatever water it wants to go out. I'll keep that piece of wood up here in the cable tie up here. Put the wee lid on now. Insulation. And that's me finished with that. You always find, but you see an attic, you don't go near an attic for years, Christmas tree or something like that. But you see once you start going up it to do stuff, you never get out of it. The heat is raking up that there now. Oh, lovely heat up here now. I still have to work out that inverter. All that crap over that side has to come away when I do the wiring in the kitchen. So just put it in one ring circuit, should be simple enough. That's the job finished.